this?
Mm.
Oh, sorry.
Where are you? There he is. Looking happy.
Wood. Anyway, is what it is.
Well, we're on the way, heading to, where are we going tomorrow? Was it Conflans?
Yeah.
Conflans tomorrow. Just eaten till I'm stuffed to the gills. Drank till I'm even stuffer. And I'm tired out. So I brought a coffee down to our veranda. And I'm speaking to you all now. And wishing you could all be here with me. Night night everyone. Love you.
In that New York classic style, inspired by classic Roman art. One last very simple that over the centuries, depending on the style that was in fashion, the old sometimes having smaller frames, sometimes not and it's sort of covered up.
That's the wonder. That's the wonder of you. Yeah, you do. And on your smile, the world is brighter. You touch my hand, and I'm a king. Your kiss to me is worth a fortune. Your love to me.
Where's he gone?
I guess I'll know the reason why you love me. That's the wonder. That's the wonder of you. That's the wonder. The wonder of you. I see trees like green, red roses too. I have song for you, and I have pictures of lights, the bright blessed days, the dark secret nights, and I think to myself, one more time. What a
Maybe I love you. Quite as good as I You make me feel so young. You make me feel that spring is sprung. And every time I see you grin, I'm such a happy individual. The moment that you speak, I wanna go play hide and seek. I wanna go and bounce the moon. Don't bring me down, I pray, oh pretty baby. Now that I found you, stay. Let me love you, baby. Let me love. Alec Jones. But since you've said Tom Jones, how about I do a Tom Jones number for you? Now, if you're from the USA, you may know this song. It's a very old country song, a beautiful song. It came out in around 1922. 1922? You can laugh now. Yeah, you just got it there. I'm not going to undo any top buttons of this song. And please, please, don't throw anything at me. Take it away, please.
Okay.
The old hometown looks the same as I step down from the train. In there to meet me is my mama and my papa. Down the lane I look at my sweet Mary, head of gold and lips like cherries. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. Yes, they all come to meet me, arms reaching, smiling sweetly. It's good to touch the green, green grass of home. I was only bloody dreaming. For there's a God, and there's a sad old padre. On and on we'll walk at daybreak, again I'll touch the green, green grass of home. Yes, they all come to meet me. Let's get hands here. Everybody clap along now, come on. Any timing that you like is fine. Where it began, I can't begin to know it, but then I know it's growing strong. Was in the spring, and spring it came this summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Hands up, everybody now, hands up, hands in the air. Hands touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Oh, sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York, these vagabond shoes are longing to stray right to the very heart of it. New York, New York, I wanna wake up in a city that doesn't sleep, to find a king of the hill, top of the hill. These little town blues are melting away. I'm gonna make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can. Oh, ocean, in a land of comfort, old friends that are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Disneyland. Sing it, everyone, sing it. In Dixieland, where I was born, early on one frosty morn. Look away, look away, look away, Disneyland. Lord, Lord, hallelujah. Lord, Lord, hallelujah. He is true in the margin. Oh. So hush, little baby, don't you cry. You know that Mickey is waving you by. But soon, oh Lord, all this cruise will soon be over. Now, who's dreamed of being Elvis? There must be one amongst you who's dreamt of being Elvis. But I think you've dreamed of being Elvis anyway. Will you stand up for me? Will you just stand up for me? Let's just stand here, look. Come on, stand next to me here. You've got to start slowly, look. We're just going to move the hips just like this, just gently, look. Like this, look. Glory, glory. Come on, Costa. Hallelujah. Faster, more faster. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. Now legs, look, very legs. Look legs, come on. Glory, glory.
His truth is marching on. His truth is marching on. Thank you very much indeed. Do you know what? Do you know what? Well done. You're going to thank me for that later. You've been a wonderful audience. I'll see you soon. Good night.
What?
Oops.
So good. So good.
So what time is it?
I don't tell you.
Isn't it about 10:15?
It is 10:30.
And it's not dark.
Almost dark.
Welcome number one. Welcome to Rouen, everyone.
Thank you.
I've heard you're coming on a Viking tour.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
Sound like Vikings, is that true?
Yes.
It's more like it. Let's go raiding in Rouen, everyone. Follow me.
I love it, Ray.
Not yet. Give your hand. Fun. Are we all good to go?
We're good.
Let's go on our Viking tour. Now we're a bit later than everybody else, but we're going to do more than everybody else. I hope you've got your walking legs on today, which is Russia and Ukraine. So something that Vladimir Putin probably forgets that actually it was Swedish Vikings that created the Russian kingdom. Something he's maybe forgotten about. If you go west along the top, Norway, Faroes, Shetland and the Faroes, Iceland, Greenland, you're again getting to Canada. So anybody who was at school remembered Christopher Columbus discovering the New World. The Vikings were there 500 years before Columbus even set sail. And we got proof in Canada, a place called Ansel Meadows and Newfoundland, that the Vikings were there. So we know that's a fact. Your story today is the River Seine, and it's the raiding. What happens? The Emperor Charlemagne, the great emperor of Europe, the Holy Roman Empire, that starts to fragment under his sons and his grandchildren. When that starts to fragment, the Vikings start to raid. The Franks have got pretty close to the Viking area in the world, then Scandinavia. So the best defence is a good offensive, is it not? So the Vikings literally go on the raids. They will hit the River Seine in the year 820 AD. They get forced back down the River Seine. That's just the start of the age. So what I'm saying to you is the ships allow it to come up the River Seine, sitting on top of the water. The Seine now is canalised, but before you had a lot of sandbanks, sandbars, so the Viking ships can come at ease, go with the tide. They're going to attack the abbeys, the undefended villages. So somebody said to me the other week, okay, so what's the difference between the Franks, the Scots, the Vikings? That's the difference, everyone. The hammer of Thor. Most people in Western Europe are Christian, which means when you attack each other, the Franks attack the English. Churches out of bounds, Holy Mother Church, you don't touch. If you're a pagan, it makes no difference. So the Vikings start raiding the first abbeys. Well, who writes down the stories? The monks. So they're now writing these heathen pagans from hell that are raiding us. That's going to be the difference. And if you want to know, are they any more aggressive than anyone else? Double-edged sword. word berserk is Old Norse, and it means exactly what it means now to go berserk. So in the Viking arsenal, they literally have fanatics. You wind these soldiers up, and they're ready to go for it, and nothing is going to stop them. It's death or Valhalla, or victory or Valhalla. It's going to be the way it is. So that's going to be the difference. But the ships are going to be the key. I want you to imagine the first Viking raids are like special forces, in and out. So by the time the local resistance has time to, organise themselves, Vikings will go back down the river with the gold and silver back down to Scandinavia. When that happens, it creates a gold rush. Because you imagine somebody comes back with a lot of treasure, can now buy a farm in the village or buy the village. Everybody else wants to go a Viking. It's going to be where the Viking age starts. Enough talking, let's get into the old city. Before the French Indian War, North America, so the War of Independence, 1770. Does anybody know why the house here, this house is one of the first floor and the second floor are bigger than the ground floor? Anybody have a guess? Streets just like this going back to the medieval period. Welcome everyone to St. Macklin. And even the sun is kind of making heavy. What's that car from the ground?
The car coming.
And literally, it's one of only 2 churches of this exact style. This really, should we say, very hard to find. Really flamboyant Gothic style, 15th century, 16th century. The other church in Normandy is in Quebec, so you'll see that later on this week. But only 2 churches built during the English occupation in the same style. What a lot of people don't know, 1944, this takes a shell and it gets absolutely obliterated for the Allied bombing. And then rebuilt this church exactly the way it looks, so they will find the pieces coming back. Any pieces they can't find, they then will remake the original stone exactly like the 15th century building. So I think you'll agree, it takes about 10 years to put back together, but it's one hell of a job. Just watch that truck coming through here. Nobody's up to. So I can tell your opinion, and the inside, the floor is as crooked as the outside, but you can roll the wall.
Breathing.
Let's go back to that story. She beats the English at Orleans. Coincidentally, the English form up into battle just outside Orleans. They tempt the French in open battlefield. The French have learned the lesson from that. No. They wait until the English go back towards Paris. They will attack them ambush techniques. So they change the warfare to still fight the English in open battle against those longbows. They're not ready for that just yet. So again, use the advantage, attack them when you can, not on their terms. Joan of Arc, when they go to skirmish after skirmish, she takes on the English whenever she can. She goes at them until she becomes unstuck at a place called Compiègne. And what happens is she gets knocked off her horse and she gets captured by fellow Frenchmen. Burgundians, they're a faction allied with England. And they now say 11,000 marks for Joan's head as a ransom. They've got a captive. So now, who would you expect to pay that money? The Dauphin, the King of France, Charles VII. He's been now made king because of Joan. You would imagine he would stump up the money, would you not? She served a purpose for him. He doesn't need her anymore. 10,000 marks is not a king's ransom, but he refuses to pay it. He doesn't need her. She's proved his purpose now, that's it. Ingratitude at the highest level. The man, his success is down to her in battle, and this is how he treats her. But there is now a second party that would be very happy to get their hands on Joan of Arc. For them, Joan has caused them a lot of trouble. Who's that, everyone? The English. The English pay the 11,000 marks. No problem. They bring her here, and if we took those buildings away behind you, see the last remaining tower of Rouen. 35 metres, the dungeon of Rouen is still there. What happens next? Kangaroo court. There's no way out of this for Joan, no easy way out. This is going to be literally over for her. She's taken to the Archbishop's Palace where you saw the mural on the wall. The easy way out, if a woman interferes in men's affairs in that period, you are normally classed as a she-wolf. If you're from the nobility, if you're like from Joan, from the lower classes of society, you are literally a witch. And she's accused in that trial, witchcraft and heresy, and sentenced to death. And in May 1431, she's brought here to this cross we can see behind us, this huge big cross. That's where the English build a funeral pyre for Joan, and they burn her alive. They burn her to death on that cross. There's one story, there's no guides around here now. I wanted to ask that because where I'm from in England, Birmingham, is in the county of Warwickshire. We've got a local legend where we're from. And the local legend, there are two archers here in Rouen when this happened. And one of the archers actually, when he sees this young girl being burnt alive, he discreetly dispatches an arrow, puts her out of her misery. So we can't say that's truth or not because it's a local legend. The smoking gun can only be that at the trial, one of the judges was Richard Beauchamp, the Earl of Warwick. So he's here in Rouen when they burn her. And if he's here, his men are here as well, his archers. So that's maybe the truth. But I always like to think if it is the truth, no matter what person he's on, to see a young girl of about 19 being burnt alive, you're still a human. You just want to say, yeah, end it. The English will finally be kicked out of France. It's going to take a few years more after Joan, and then eventually we will then look at the New World, the colonism of the New World to create the colonial empire of the British Empire and Commonwealth. For Joan, would you believe it, 20 years later, they retry her in Rouen. This time she's found innocent. But for Joan, it's just 20 years too late in that respect. But she's on the road to redemption, and she's up there at the very pinnacle of French historical characters. She's above Charles de Gaulle, Napoleon. I think if you ask most French people, Joan of Arc would be the most famous French person ever. She's there at the top. And every May, every year, the little statue by the church, that's where they commemorate what happened to Joan here. So she's now Saint Jeanne d'Arc, a patron saint, and certainly in France, that great heroine of this country. You gotta be in the know. See, this is the Church of Joan of Arc. The original church is what we're standing on now. That's Saint Vincent. That gets destroyed in 1944. And again, the Allied bombings. And when it's destroyed after the war, remember France is bankrupt. So France has to decide what buildings they rebuild, and what they don't. So working in this block are fantastic. But we maybe stop just here. I'll explain a little bit about its history. What a lot of people don't know is you see the arch. Before it was a clock, this was the Roman gateway into the wall. So they built it over the Roman defences, so these walls go back to the 4th century AD. The late 300s, they built a wall around Rouen when the barbarians are slowly pushing and the civil wars in the end of the Roman Empire, the years of crisis. So the arch is a Roman arch. Rotomagus was a city name, the Roman town. In 1387 and 1389, the merchants of this city decided to now commission the clock you see now. They paid it with their own money. Because what happens, they make their money from industry. And the best wool comes from the United Kingdom. So when it comes over the channel, the towns who have the privileges to set up wool merchants are the first places on the continent. So Rouen gets the privilege from the Dukes of Normandy, who are also the Kings of England. So you imagine how much money they're making off wool. We can see how much they're making because when we go under the clock, I want you to have a quick look. The sheep are everywhere carved into the arch. So they know the sheep make them the money. That's where they get their money from. And certainly that connection with the wool and the English wool trade makes them very, very rich. And you can see that's how rich it makes them. Once you come to the water. So they never forget who makes them their money. So everybody sees it on that side, you now see the on the other side.
How y'all doing? So some of you know me as Rollo, the Viking. this morning. My real name is Ben Bailey, and before I was a tour guide, I was a soldier in the British Army. I served in the Middle Eastern wars of Iraq and Afghanistan. That's been the beautiful port city of Basra. If anybody wants to spot me on there, I'm on the far left, very far left. Story, so it's my pleasure to announce the D-Day Deception and Dangers for this evening's presentation. I think like many of you, we've got a family connection to World War II, World War I. Probably our relatives, some of them may not have made it back. My great uncle actually was killed in Salerno, Italy, 1943. So I think we've got that connection. We've all got a story of World War II. That's just some of my great uncles and my grandfather in the Second World War. So every theatre of war, the European theatre against the Germans, North Africa, Burma, you name it, those pop up in all of our family histories. So
Le lunch, c'est 13h, 14h15, ce serait bon, non?
14h15 ici?
Ouais. C'est à 4h, d'accord? So let's go, please. Hein? The British landed on the day. These British soldiers who landed on Anel liberated Arromanches at the end of the day, around 9 p.m.
So this beach just here?
Yes, this is part of Gold, but the Allies. House. And the last soldier who actually died, he passed away on 3 times. Then he was injured twice. On July the 7th and in August. And the second time he had to stop the war. And here is the Café Gondrel, the one I was talking about. Pegasus Bridge, Café Gondrel, it's written. And the owner was Georges Gondrel. He spoke English because he worked for the bank Lloyd's. And his wife understood German. She spoke German language because she came from Alsace. She was a nurse from Alsace. Alsace is the northeast of France. So she could give information to the French resistance fighters and especially to the head of the French resistance who was in the castle, in the chateau. And it was named the Paddle Operation.
Oh. See, thanks.
Bill Millin didn't play the bagpipes when crossing this bridge, Benefit Bridge, but before and after, not on the bridge. This is one of the mistakes of the movie. Hein?
Hail Caesar!
Hail Caesar!
Sumus.
Suma Samichi.
Acoustics. Anybody interested in sound? That sort of thing. Why the Romans build the amphitheatre? The way to build and the stage is to reflect, so the music can go out or the talking can go out. So if you ever look into it in detail, look at the acoustics of the stadium. The Romans figure out this way before we do, how to make the best. So someone's talking on that stage, it can reflect out and they can hear it better. So there's a lot of real detail of how that works, but they know what to do. And where's the sun? It's now 11:20. The army, you have a buddy-buddy system. The next person who is with you will do your armour up, and certainly my armour's got a few gaps. So the centurion's going to give me a slap, and it's going to be tightened up. This is impervious. This armour is almost impervious to anything in the ancient world. You've got to get in those gaps. If the gaps ain't there, good luck. So we've got chainmail for the auxiliaries will wear. The legions wear the plate armour. So you are very protected. How much weight? Pounds. About 22 pounds. In kilo, about 10 kilos. Just for that. And you've got to then have your own kit, your sword, 2 spears, we're going to get to the spear in a minute, your shield, your helmet. You've got to carry all your kit, just like a modern army. In the medieval world, you get a baggage train. The problem with the baggage train is a huge column that follows the army with all the reserves, the supplies, the equipment, but it makes you slow. The Roman army carried themselves. They get the nickname, the legionaries, Marius's mules, because it's the Roman general Marius who converts the army to say they carry their own kit. And then each day you are given rations, what you're going to cook in the field yourselves in your own little kitchens. So the soldiers will literally stop at the end of the day, build their camp, then they will eat their rations. You're going to get skirmishers going out to the forests to find game, and then those will be cooking those. If they come up with a deer or a boar, those will be cooked up as well. But the army will march on its stomach and carry its provisions. That's why it can outmarch any other army.
That's why they almost caught up to
Pompey. Imagine 20, it's in kilometres, about 30 odd kilometres, but for us it's 25 miles in 5 hours. And then you've got to build a camp, and then you can rest if you're not on sentry duty. So this is a real, I'm going to say this as a soldier, former soldier. The British Army, we like to say we're the best. I'm pretty sure the Canadians, the Americans say the same thing. All armies do. But say if we put our nationalities aside, we looked into history, I guarantee you, we would say the Roman army is by far the most professional army this world has ever seen. It's that efficient. They get beat, but as I said, winning wars, they don't lose many of the wars. You have to take the advantage away from them. If you let them fight on their terms, you're going to get beat, and you're going to get beat heavily. So how do they work? What does the tactics of the legionaries? Let's have a look. When they conquer a people, they take the best things from everyone else. So the sword is the gladius. It's a very short sword. If you imagine a medieval sword, the medieval sword is meant to slash. And the knight on a horse, it's long, so he's got that, the distance he can bring it down. When you slash, what do you do as an infantryman?
Oh, you raise your arm.
You raise your arm.
So you could
You're
get,
exposed.
yes.
So the Scottish Highlanders charging against the British in the Jacobite Wars, they got their huge claymores and their swords running down at the British soldiers. The British used the tactic, bayonets, and you don't bayonet the person in front, you bayonet the person to the side when he exposes himself.
Wow.
So the Romans know the slashing sword is not good because you expose yourself. This sword is not meant to slash. This sword is simply, it's a stab, it's a thrusting sword. So you imagine in a formation, where the Romans are going to be in a formation. I've got a later shield. The original shields are going to be square, a tortoise type shape, but this changes about 150 AD because it becomes cheaper. And certainly for a 2-way, it's a lot easier to carry around. So after you know, then there are the rules as well. But if you can imagine an army, first of all, you take that pose, yeah? It's almost on your leg, the shield. You want to lower your centre of gravity, because the taller you are, somebody runs into you, you're going to go over, and wearing that much armour, if you're on the floor, you're going to struggle to get back up. So, the old stance is, it'd be simply like that. If you run at me, even the biggest man runs at me, I guarantee you'll not push me over, you'll push me to the side. The Roman legions are staggered, so if you're standing on the front line here, you can stand there. I want you to stand there. Yeah, that's perfect. And I want somebody to stand next to me there. So you imagine the front line carries on. A barbarian charges me, he hits the shield, he's going to bounce off. He bounces in your direction, you're the next line, and finish him off. So that's it. It's simplicity. That's how it works. And they will just literally move in a formation, moving forward, steamrolling everything in front of it. That's how they win 400 years in simplicity. Now I must introduce you to probably the most deadly weapon to wield in firearms. So I'll have to show you an illustration of what that weapon is. Quite a good helmet. They take from the French, the Gallic helmet. If you look at it, very simple. The ridge at the front. So if a sword comes crashing down, it hits the ridge before it hits the helmet, so you'll get no concussion. The back is again meant to protect. If you look at when I put it on.
Oh, covers your neck, the
Look
back.
at the neck.
So you still have this open.
Any arrows coming down, you're going to be protected. You need to be able to hear.
Oh.
Because when the centurion or somebody gives the orders, the trumpets, if you can't hear it, you're not going to react. So again, just on the ear, the ridge to protect the ear, so nothing comes onto the head. You want to stop that concussion. The only visible is the face.
Yeah.
So you saw when I came in this morning, you have there are metal masks. Would a soldier use it? It inhibits your vision. So probably not. Cavalry use the masks more than the legionaries. But if you did want to put that mask on, it covers your face, and it's quite intimidating. It's quite nasty when you see that. You know, you think, whoa. Yeah. The crest is not on the helmet. This is only for parade. So if I was going back home for the triumph, it's on. You know, it's like a peacock. But in a battle, you don't want it on. Why? Because someone will grab that, pull me down, and then stick me in the neck or bring me down. So only for parade, not for combat. So a lot of those little tricks of the trade. You're going to have leg armour as well, just for the knees. I haven't got it on today, but you also have an arm armour called the manica, the same as this, to cover the sword arm. So the shield arm's protected, but the sword arm you want to keep covered or you get slashed. So what do you think there, guys? Not a bad army, no?
Yeah.
Who's ready to join?
Yes.
Yeah, 25 miles a day, it's not too bad, no? I'll be easy on you today. I'm just going to have to pull my belt up because I've just lost my belt for the minute. But they're probably not as armed. Roman legionaries in Europe are by far the most they're heavy infantry. As soon as they go towards the Middle East, you start to be, cavalry becomes more proliferant. And you'll also get cataphracti. Have you heard of that? So cataphracti is heavy cavalry. It's the forerunners of the medieval knights. The Persians will use that.
There you go.
Better?
No.
Oh,
Oh, it's unhooked.
Hazards of the trade. Not many other guides have that problem. What about now? Better?
Yeah.
Splendid. Now that we've been in the arena, I think it's time. Should we go up to the top? Should we see what it's like to be a spectator?
Do it again. Go on.
Well, I want a normal one.
I have. Okay.
Behind us, there's a huge refinery in Florida. So that's closing down. There's an American company making a huge recycling plant as well. So there's a lot of industry around. It's just quite hidden, I suppose. You don't really think, or you might not.
How French is that?
Vive la France. Coming down, aren't they?
I think so.
They are.
Probably.
Cool.
J'ai des volontaires encore pour le prochain vol ou pas du tout? Dites-moi.
J'ai un groupe de 3 avec.
Tu veux mettre tes lunettes pour regarder le ballon? Voilà, tu vas mieux le voir, comme ça tu pourras regarder dans le ciel.
On va se mettre là. Tiens, on se remet là, c'est mieux. Et debout.
Tu vas enlever le chapeau? On va faire ça, regarde. Attention. C'est parti! Oui, oui, t'inquiète pas, ta balle, on va aller la chercher. Regarde le ballon qui s'envole. Oh! Tu mets tes lunettes pour regarder le ballon? C'est hyper dangereux, c'est pour ça que c'est extrêmement dangereux. Mais t'as une pluie au milieu avec un cœur. C'est hyper dangereux. Pas pour ceux qui sont
I
dedans.
am flying out in the sun. You know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies are having fun, you know. is done. That's when this world is a new world and a world of fire. Clap your hands, everybody. Oh, the shark face with his teeth and he shows them his pearly whites. Just a jackknife has on it, but he keeps it way on the side. My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile